The Jamaican government is leveraging the power of speed and geographical location of the island to formulate a cohesive logistic hub to ensure ease of conducting intra-regional and international trade in order to transform the economy and spur true economic growth. The broad strategy is to upgrade Jamaica's logistics capabilities to become the fourth global logistics hub along with Singapore, Rotterdam, and Dubai. Addressing senior journalists at a briefing September 25, Investment and Commerce Minister Anthony Hilton noted the urgent need for Jamaica to upgrade the island's logistics capabilities and rehabilitate existing facilities as part of a broader plan to stimulate economic growth. He says the cabinet has accepted this.
Now, first of all, why logistic hub? The fact is, Jamaica's geographic position is what it is. It has been that for centuries. The pirates knew the advantage and took advantage of it. We somehow missed the first wave when the Panama Canal opened back in the early 19th century, 20th century. The expansion of the Panama Canal invites us again to look at our positioning as a country vis-a-vis the rest of the world. Only this time, the stakes are much higher. Firstly, globalization and the integration of Jamaica into the global economy presents a challenge and an opportunity. The expansion of the Panama Canal will bring about a shift in global trade. And by that I mean taking advantage of the fact that the Asia-Pacific Rim is now the world's producer of goods and to a large extent services. At the moment, the growth economies are in Latin America, North America, Canada mainly. United States still remain, notwithstanding its challenges, still remain a magnet economy. And even as Europe's economic situation wanes, it still remains an area of interest.
Amid this renewed urgency to create a true logistics hub and thus transform Jamaica's economic model, the current administration is examining every feasible idea. Ideas such as the revitalization of Vernon Field, a pet project of former Transport Minister Mike Henry, to make the logistic hub a real possibility before the opening of the widened Panama Canal in 2015. So what are the key elements of this logistics hub?
We have for a long time focused on the Kingston Transshipment Hub, and I think correctly so. It ensures that we're not talking about starting from scratch. The Kingston Container Port is a very valuable asset. However, more work needs to be done, as has been said a number of times by a number of ministers, the dredging and the expansion. However, the Kingston Container Port represents 15% of global trade. The other 85% of global trade is represented in bulk carriage of food, liquid stuff, either petroleum, other kinds of energy, liquefied natural gas. So 85% represent global trade. We happen to have in Jamaica some of the deepest natural harbor. Apart from Kingston, you have very deep waters. One such is in Kobe in St. Thomas at a draft of some 51 meters, which makes it one of the deepest ports, if not the deepest, in the Western Hemisphere. That needs to be taken advantage of, because we feel that the bulk storage is appropriate because it provides not only just-in-time deliveries to the eastern seaboard of the United States, but to other markets in the region. The fact is that it could also provide for us elements, a main part of our food security, and ultimately, when done, energy security.
Consultant at the Ministry of Industry and Commerce, Dr. Deans, summarizes the opportunities for Jamaica.
Now, the opportunity that we have is that Jamaica sits in the middle of an 800 million person market, which includes the two giants of US and Brazil. And all of these can be easily accessed from Jamaica. But the trade opportunities are about to expand almost exponentially with the expansion of the Panama Canal, and also with the World Cup being held in Brazil and the Olympics in 2016. There's a stimulus package of $880 billion by the Brazilian government to improve their infrastructure, and so which will result in quite a lot of movement of goods, which we can tap into.
Minister Anthony Hilton also looked at efforts to get foreigners investing in the island's premier port facilities, and so journalists asked him whether the Chinese were the favored buyers and whether there were tangible offers from countries such as the United States.
This is something that the Chinese recognize that they will benefit from, the globe will benefit from, international trade will benefit from. But let me also say, again, the interest that I'm receiving the interest is global. Let me repeat it, global. The French are interested, the Americans are interested, Europeans are interested, the Netherlands, people from the Dutch are interested, and other Asian countries are interested. It is not a situation where anyone will be denied. As I said, I'm expected to go to Houston and other places to promote this project, and I will. In the same way I'll go to China and elsewhere to promote these projects. So it's open. The Americans have as equal an opportunity as anyone else. And they're invited, they know that they're invited to participate.
I used the occasion to ask Anthony Hilton how some of Jamaica's critical creditors viewed the island's renewed urgency in developing a logistics hub.
The IDB, the World Bank, and of course the IMF.
Well, first of all, to my certain knowledge, because of the process we have undertaken in coming to this presentation today, that this is a project and a growth strategy fully supported by the multilateral institutions. We've had discussions with them previously. They have indicated their support, but not only privately. I'd want to point you to a statement made by the head of the World Bank here that he gave in a statement in Clarendon to the Chamber of Commerce in Clarendon recently that was in fulsome support of this strategy and the programs going forward.
Do you think this kind of process, I know you can't say much at this time because of the current negotiations, but certainly this kind of thinking by the administration, do you think it will help the current negotiations with the fund?
As you quite correctly say, it's a very sensitive period, but I will say that I believe it will. It certainly will not hurt. I believe it will because it points the way forward to a growth strategy and speak to Jamaica's long-term development prospects.
On that note, we conclude today's edition of Your Wealth. I'm Owen James.